Yeah, welcome back to it. Man, what's going on with that hat, man? What you doing, man?
Support your
what is
sailors,
that,
man. You
What is
wear
that?
snake? What?
Where's
Come
the other
on,
half?
man.
Where's the other half of that label? It's supposed to say "Go Army, Beat Navy." That's what it's
No,
supposed to be.
no, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah,
No,
that's
sir.
what we say.
Navy. Navy, baby.
Right. Go Army, Beat Navy. Right.
Navy,
That's
baby.
what it's
Come on,
supposed to say.
no, baby. No, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that, big
Man.
bros.
Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast, live Wednesday episode. Yes. So what you saw right there was a little inter-service rivalry, of course, from the two veterans on the panel here. And when G gets back, I'm gonna have one up. So Transformer, he could talk his little stuff right now.
Yo, you always got to try to jump somebody, you know what I mean? But,
hey, man,
Navy, man, we fair with the one-on-ones. You feel
that's
me?
why you got battle buddies. You know what I'm saying? There you go, Christopher. What up? Go Army, beat Navy. That's what I'm talking about.
Go Army, beat Navy. That's why you in the comment section. You ain't no lie.
Sir. But welcome to the show, man. We appreciate anybody tuning in. Thanks so much for coming and check us out. Got some pretty good topics tonight for our for our Wednesday evening episode. As you can see from the thumbnail, we're gonna do our weekly pick'em. Last week was rough for both of us, but we're gonna see if we can get back on track. We're gonna talk Bengals and Joe Burrow and what's going on there. Jason Tatum revenge tour, and hopefully my man G will be here for that one because everybody knows how G feels about the Celtics and especially Jason Tatum. So I'm sure that'll be a fun topic. And then we're gonna find out in the last topic is young Jaden Daniels for real, because he sure looks like it. He sure looks like
legit.
it. But
he did look legit.
Yeah, he definitely does. But before we get to all that, y'all know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't. Laker Nation, appreciate you. Got you right here, man. Thank you, brother.
Oh, my boy Laker Nation. Oh. I got you, G. And I got some water. But
here we go.
We good.
Here we go.
I can switch hats real quick on you, but I can rock it just like that. You can see the Navy and the Lakers. You feel me? Yes, sir.
Well, that's what it is.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. You can do better than that.
Laker Nation or die, Laker gang or die, and go Navy, baby. 16 years and running, baby. Let's go.
You know what,
big
man?
Vet right here. Big vet.
I got too much respect for your service to talk any more smack until December when we go ahead and mollywop y'all. So,
Mollywop.
So quick side note though, in all seriousness, right? Army and Navy are both playing really well, and there is a possibility that at the end of this year, obviously we got the game in December in the final week of the season. The possibility, if they keep both playing well, they could play each other in that game and then turn around the following week for the American Athletic Conference and play for that championship. How great would that be?
It'll be great, man. Are y'all undefeated too?
I believe so.
I know we undefeated. We just beat Memphis. So, shout out my Memphis team for taking that L for us. It was a shootout, but, Navy came on top. 56 points. Nothing crazy.
No doubt. Listen, I will say this, right? When it comes to, the services versus anybody else, I'm going back that service person. Now, if it comes to inter-service, you know what it is. It got to be Army first and foremost. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can stay that way. We got to play Notre Dame too. You know that, right?
We do too.
Oh, Army got to play Notre Dame?
Yes.
So where's your heart gonna go that game?
Oh, Notre Dame. I didn't attend West Point. I did not attend West Point, so it's definitely it's always go Irish, man.
Yo, you saw that service member, Chris, man. Your boy is picking a collegiate team. He did not attend over an Army branch that he served for, G. Served for.
That's right.
Served for. So, Chris, man, loyalty, bro. I don't know what's up with your boy, man.
Man, listen, I got all the love for Army, man, but I'm trying to see my Irish get a national title in here somewhere.
Trying to get a natty. I feel you.
Yeah,
man.
and we need them wins, man.
Yeah,
it's all love though. It's all love. If I went to West Point, it would be that.
If you went to West Point,
say again.
I say if you went to West Point.
If I went to West Point, definitely, but I didn't. So,
Gino, crazy work, Gino, crazy work.
You know how G get down. I hope he's not trying to duck this Jason Tatum topic. I know he is, but I
believe he is, man.
I believe he is.
You don't want to talk about Jason Tatum.
Hey, man. Oh, you gonna be disrespectful? I got something for you too. Don't worry about it.
I'm holding down for G, bro. I'm holding down for G, bro.
I got the killer for that. So get ready. Get ready.
I'm gonna send him a new PT uniform.
You know what? I don't even have the black ones, man. Yeah, send me one. I don't even have the black ones. Send me that. Definitely. All right. So Bengals and Joe Burrow. And this is something that G wanted to talk about. And I guess we're looking at it. Coming into the season where we're thinking AFC North, obviously nightmare division, Steelers, Ravens. We had no idea what it was going to be. We were thinking that you might get 4 teams into the playoffs. It has happened before. It's rare, but that you might get 4 teams into the AFC playoffs from the AFC North. But Joe Burrow and the Bengals have started 0-3, and that's tough. So I guess we're kind of wondering what's going on here, and what can we chalk that up to? What do we see from them going forward? And for instance, we had, I guess, the first real kind of Joe Burrow sighting and Cincinnati offense sighting Monday night against Washington. And we'll talk about Jaden Daniels a little down the road. Joe Burrow, he played like his old self. I think he had 3 touchdown passes,
324, 3 touchdowns.
Say it again.
Interceptions. He had 324 yards. He was 29 for 38. 76% completion percentage, 8.5 yards on average, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. 127 on the passer rating.
Okay, there we go. So he's 5th in the league in touchdown passes so far with 5. He's 7th in the league in yardage with 746. He has thrown no interceptions yet this season. He's got a QBR of 62.5, and he is playing well. But the problem is, he's got a huge contract that he signed before last season, and we just finished talking about that. If you're getting all this money, you're expected to win, right? And they're 0-3. They're 0-3 going into this week. And so the question now becomes, what's going on with Cincinnati? And clearly the defense is not playing up to snuff, because you see Joe Burrow, he's playing well, but at the same time, we got to start asking the question now. How long can Joe Burrow live off of what happened, 2 and 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, he's in the Super Bowl, beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. 2 years ago, he loses right at the end of the game to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. So he's the guy that can kind of go blow for blow and throw for throw with Pat Mahomes in the NFL. But none of that matters, right? The question is, how long is he going to be able to live off of that? So let's I got some thoughts from Chris Canty and Evan Cohen and Michelle Smallman on ESPN Unsportsmanlike regarding Joe Burrow. We'll listen to that, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
You start the season at 0-3. How is the quarterback somehow immune from criticism? That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me. If this were any other quarterback, if this was Lamar Jackson, if this was Josh Allen, if this was Jalen Hurts, we want to have him. We don't burn him at the stake. Literally, that we would be sitting here today crucifying those guys because they haven't been able to get a win on the season, and we're heading into week 4. So why in the world are we not keeping that same energy for Joe Burrow? That's the part I don't understand. And here's a part of the issue that I'm running into. Everybody wants to point to the stat line, Smalls. Everybody wants to say, oh, look at his stats over the last couple of weeks. He's thrown for 600 yards and, he's got 5 touchdowns and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you lost. You had a week 3 game that you essentially had to win, a must-win situation early on in the season against a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And the rookie quarterback outplayed you. There is no debate in that. So I don't care what your stats were, you didn't get it done. And so my point is, even though I know the defense gave up 38 points, Even though I know the pass interference call happened in Kansas City, the record is what the record is. And I don't understand why Joe Burrow doesn't get the same smoke that we have reserved for all of these other quarterbacks that we would deem elite in that class.
You're not going to like the answer, but I think with Joe Burrow, we have a muscle memory of starts like this at the beginning of the season. We are immune to panicking with slow starts.
Hold on one second. Let me ask you a question, because I'm glad you brought that up. I get that the head coach has to wear a lot of that in terms of your team starting out slow. Why doesn't the quarterback?
Because we've seen them do it before.
Yeah, but before.
And they've turned it around.
Yeah, and before Joe Burrow had the built-in excuse with the injuries and all of that stuff, not being able to be in training camp, not being able to play in the preseason game. He did both of those things this year, and they're still starting out 0-3. We're saying the head coach is a lot of the blame when it comes to the slow start. Why doesn't the quarterback get blame?
If you looking at his performance these 3 weeks, are you suggesting that he's the problem with the Cincinnati Bengals, that he's the number one contributing factor to these losses?
No, I'm not saying that, but he's got to be the solution. When you're paying him $55 million, he's got to be more of the answer for the issues that this team is facing. He's the reason why you had to get rid of Jesse Bates and all-pro safety a couple of years ago. You let him walk in free agency. He's the reason why you had to let DJ Reader walk in free agency. You can't afford him. Like you're having to get rid of all of these guys on the defensive side of the ball. Von Bell, all of these guys, you don't have them around anymore because Joe Burrow is getting paid $55 million a year. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase ain't happy with their contracts, in part because Joe Burrow got a $275 million extension. So my point is, even though it's not all on him and we recognize it's a team sport, there's a reason why quarterbacks get more of the praise and more of the blame just depending on what the result is. We call it the most important position in team sports for a reason.
All right, so you guys' thoughts. G, I'm going to let you go ahead and start. What's your thoughts on what Canty had to say and kind of Joe Burrow overall in terms of where he is and what we think about him and the Bengals?
Wow, the Bengals. So, I'm gonna take my time with this one, fella. So don't rush me up the bike. Pause. I'm gonna look at what he's done since against AFC teams, and he's at 10-6, right, with one tie. I look at Josh Allen against AFC teams, and we talking about one of the highest paid players in the league, and Josh Allen is at 21-6 against NFC teams, right? If we start looking at AFC teams, we'll see Josh Allen at 45-25, but we'll see Joe Burrow at like 500. And so when you look at like one of the highest paid players in the league from a quarterback perspective, at $50 million a year, 500 just ain't gonna do it in your division, right? In your conference. It's not gonna do it, bro. It's not gonna do it in your conference. It's just not gonna do it. 500, 19 is crazy work. Like, I believe that he should be a upper echelon. I mean, Deshaun Watson is 30-21, right? But a lot of people hold him to a higher standard, right? Like when it comes to the Browns, they feel like he got paid the money, the most guaranteed money than any player to ever do it. But when we look at Joe Burrow, it's not the same. It's just not the same thing. We only see him that, oh yeah, he made it to the big dance and he lost. I mean, this is still one of those players who had one of those quarterbacks where when it comes to your receiving core, he had the best receiving core that you can possibly pick in a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right?
T. Higgins.
Mm-hmm. T. Higgins. Sorry. T. Higgins. But he had a solid running game. And so at 500 in the AFC, which we know is a dogfight, that puts you, people gonna talk about you when you come in and you 0-3 and you lose to the goddamn Raiders. I mean the Redskins. People want to say something. They're gonna talk about you. Now everybody might not agree with that, but it's still early. I still say it's still early. It's only week 3. And we still gotta see where this go. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your AFC he's probably still going to fall into that 500 range. It is what it is. It's the Bengals. That's the team he chose to go with. They've been losing since the beginning of the time. And I think the last time they was winning in my time was when the Iggy Shuffle was out. I'm dating myself.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
The Icky Shuffle.
88.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy work.
I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad I'm
crazy
here.
Work.
I'm glad I'm here. But at the same time, you can't just dye your hair and change your uniforms. The zebra ain't gonna change his stripes, bro. Like, you gotta go out here and get it. And a lot of people will put him above Lamar. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of people on this panel would put him above Lamar because they feel like he's a pocket passer. But at the end of the day, like,
who put him above Lamar on this panel?
You.
Who did that? I didn't. I didn't.
Sir.
I said he's had more. I said he's had more playoff success than Lamar, and there's no question about that.
It is same shit.
That's not the same thing. That's absolutely not this. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hey, my man Tyler in here. Hey,
Tyler, what's good, my G?
Hey, man.
Gentlemen, happy to be back from the road. Seeing the Cowboys Ravens in person took years off my life. Bengals will start 0-5, and they may decide to shut Burrow down for the year.
That's not going to happen.
Why would they shut him down?
Yeah, you can't. I don't care if they 0-10. You can't shut him down.
You can't shut him down.
That kind of money. Nah.
Hey, but since I mentioned Lamar Jackson.
Oh, here we go.
Since I mentioned Lamar Jackson, I only got to talk about that he's 21-1 against NFC team.
All right, so the Bengals and Burrow.
That's Christopher, more successful in the playoffs. There's no question about that. Like, listen. I get it. Fans, short for fanatic. I get it. Change the truth. I'm a Ravens fan too. That doesn't change the truth that there's no question about the fact Joe Burrow has had more playoff success than Lamar Jackson. I don't know how that's an argument. No. That's not an argument. That's a fact.
They literally made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that happened.
Right.
2-time MVP, man. Watch your mouth, bro.
I said playoff success.
Watch your mouth, bro. Playoff don't necessarily equal.
What is that 2-time MVP?
Playoff does not equal Hall of Fame, bro.
What?
Playoff does not equal Hall of Fame. 2-time MVP, you Hall of Fame. First ballot. Playoffs, we might not even be talking about Joe Burrow when we announce 60, bro.
So all that is great. What are those 2 MVPs doing for him and for the Ravens when it counts most? Answer me that. Go ahead.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
No. Answer my question, bro. What are those 2 MVPs doing for the Ravens when it counts the most? You tell me.
You don't have to win a chip. He's still going to be first ballot.
But you want him to win a chip. We talking about now.
You sitting here talking about Ravens fan. This my team. I'm a Ravens fan, but you don't want him to win a chip.
I put my money where my mouth at.
What kind of attitude
so
is that?
At the same time, I'm going to say this. I put my money on Lamar winning a chip.
Somebody got their thing on? Oh, that's me. How did they do that?
Joe Burrow any day, man. Come on, cut the shit.
But you can't answer a simple question.
Stats don't mean nothing when you're a playmaker, man. You hold a playmaker.
As for Tyler says Burrow only made the playoffs twice in his career. Correct. One of those times. So this is year 5.
Pop the shit,
he
yo.
made the playoffs.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. No.
Hold on. You jumping in the chat before acknowledging me, bro.
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. So hold on. He's 4 years in the league, 2 years in the playoffs. One time he makes it to the AFC title game. The other time he makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that happened.
Can Lamar say that? And Lamar's I'm a Ravens fan, but can he say that? What do those 2 MVPs do when it counts the most? Can he put those out on the field and say, I'm a 2-time MVP? Give me this dub? No, he can't. Where are those?
Yo, he only missed the playoffs one time, dog. What you saying?
Listen to what I'm saying. What does he do when he gets there? That's the question.
When the lights are the brightest.
Team sport, yo. Like, that's a team sport. He lost to Andy Reid. He lost to Andy Reid, right?
In terrible fashion.
You said terrible fashion?
No, I mean, like his losses when he gets to the playoffs. The Lamar Jackson, the 2-time,
Hold on,
2-time MVP.
I need to hear from somebody who's not a Ravens fan, and so You are welcome to give me your gripes because the chat gonna sound off.
I think when we're looking at Lamar Jackson and the 2 MVPs, the same way we look at Aaron Rodgers and his 4 or 5 MVPs, right? When it matters the most in the postseason, are you getting it done to get your team to the promised land? If you want to look at an individual award, then okay, Lamar Jackson has the right to say something over Joe Burrow. But when the rubber meets the road in the biggest games, aka the playoff games, Lamar Jackson is not the regular season MVP Lamar Jackson that we're used to seeing. I think that's the biggest key in the argument between when Joe Burrow is in the playoffs, we've seen him get to an AFC championship game, and we've seen him carry his team to a playoff, to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson hasn't even really had a game that we can name off the top of our heads and be like, that game in the playoffs was that was Lamar Jackson's game. But we've seen Joe Burrow when it matters the most, like, shit, Joe got it done. Joe walked them down the field, methodically had a drive and won the game. He beat Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he has the claim to fame to that in order to get to the Super Bowl. I think that's why a lot of people will put JB in a situation to where he's over Lamar based on the postseason.
Who's JB? Who's JB?
I mean, not JB.
Burrow.
I'm sorry.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson in a postseason sense. Regular season, Lamar Jackson had, 2-time MVP. Right. Joe doesn't have one, right? But when it matters the most, Joe shows up. When it matters the most for Lamar, Lamar shrinks. Not credit to him. The offensive game plan itself just shrinks. It just goes away. You take every strength that Lamar Jackson has, you take it away from him, and it makes Lamar look bad. So
how is this a Bengals and Joe Burrow topic that's somehow turned into Lamar Jackson?
My turn.
It's G, bro.
We gonna get to the fair weather fan in the back real quick. What I will say is that, like, when you look at it, it all boils down to coaching, yo. Like, he been doing what he been doing with ass John fucking, what's his last name? Can somebody tell me?
Who?
Harbaugh?
John Harbaugh?
Harbaugh, bro. One of the worst head coach CEOs.
Coach's name?
Listen, bro. Like, everybody understand where I'm coming from, yo.
Oh, no.
Greg Roman, John Harbaugh, 2 of the worst goddamn scheme and or game managing coaches that ever did the shit. And they going against one year they went against Belichick. We seen them years and years get trashed by Belichick all for coaching. That was way before Lamar got there, bro.
Belichick trashed everybody off for coaching. You can't just,
exactly. And so what I'm saying is, if Belichick is, it doesn't matter what your personnel is. I said this early in the show. It doesn't matter who you got under center. If you getting out coached as a coach, it doesn't matter. Yo, he on some shit. Bro.
Thank you, Steve.
Sneed, you my dog. And Bruce, what the hell is you talking about, bro? This guy go on 4th and 5 when he can kick a field goal and get points. Like, how do you say that he's one of the best coaches in the league, dog? Like, just from an analytic perspective, you got one of the best kickers that ever did the shit, but you still can go with it instead of taking the points. And then when you come up with next to nothing, now you mad like, oh yeah, it's all Lamar's fault. No, you going for it on 4th and 5 when you should fucking kick the ball. Like, you just got a turnover on defense. Get the points.
Is John a Super Bowl champion coach?
Sir, yes, he is.
He is.
But however, so is some coaches that's not in the league right now.
But
it doesn't just because you win a Super Bowl with an inherited defense, right? And yeah, he inherited that. You know, the Ray Lewis and the Ed Reed. Go watch that Ed Reed show. He'll tell you how he felt about John Harbaugh when he came in the league. He wasn't an alpha. He was a beta, bro. And he's still that. And I stand on that. But that's my 2 cents. The only thing that I'm saying is...
So really, you're not a Ravens fan. You're a Lamar fan. This is what I hear. Because you diss everything on the Ravens.
I'm a Ravens fan, bro. But if you watch the game every Sunday,
Transformer. What are you hearing? This is what I'm hearing.
Ass, yo. We've been.
I'm hearing he will diss anything Ravens except Lamar.
The Floridians. Listen, man. Listen, I'm outmatched. I got 2 Floridians on this.
I ain't no Floridian, man. I'm not.
However, I will say this, right? I will say this. Everybody know Harbaugh ass when it comes to play calling. You're not watching the game. And you allow a motherfucker to do a tight end sweep when the game is on the line, you ask, bro. Like that, you should have vetoed that shit. You got right of refusal through and through, bro. Like, but if you allow these plays to constantly happen, like, yo, like we lost the game based off of how this dude really like called the game for real, like how he like challenged for certain shit, and we saw this in week 2 against the Raiders, where he clearly challenged a ball that was a catch, cost us a timeout that would have probably saved us the game at the last minute. But that's my 2 cents. I'm gonna let these Floridians take over because man, that's just what it is.
I believe like so, we're just more objective, bro.
I got a question, G.
Go ahead.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Bruce.
They boil their crabs.
Does living in Florida change the truth of facts? I just want to know that. Does it change the truth of facts?
That part. Okay.
So the facts is
no. That's yes or no.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you.
1 + 1 is 2, right?
When it comes to being a Ravens fan,
right? No, it's not about that.
Hold on, sir. You have to be able to look at the games and not only critique the quarterback, but also critique the coach and how he's calling the game. Like the things that he let slide. You also you can't just be like, oh yeah, this quarterback is shit without looking at the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator. Like you have to be able to do that. And so far, like most of us, we look at John Harbaugh and we like, yo, this dude is really a special teams coach who never evolved into a head coach, but he's been in a position to where, he can be a CEO type coach and win a Super Bowl. That's pretty much it.
That's what head coaches generally are, CEOs, right? You run an operation that you're CEO. That's what a head coach is supposed to be. Now, do certain head coaches have different expertise?
What is Andy Reid? What is Bill Belichick?
Do you listen when I'm talking it off? Do you listen when I'm talking? Damn. So first of all, this was supposed to be Bengals and Joe Burrow, and then you just did your thing. And you ran off. You ran off 500. You ran off to Lamar, but just so you know, just so you know, right? Just so you know, freaking all Lamar's playoff stats are worse than Joe Burrow's. So again, those 2 MVPs, those wonderful MVPs you want to talk about, they don't do anything for him when it comes to when it counts most. This is what I need you to understand.
Can you highlight, because I don't have the power to highlight Tyler Selefsky's last post. Can you highlight that for me?
Yeah, I could put it. But that doesn't change what I'm saying to you, though. Lowest challenge win percent in NFL history.
Harbaugh can't manage the clock. He has the lowest challenge win percentage in NFL history, minimum of 20 challenges. He is responsible for our 4 fourth quarter collapses. He forces a conservative game plan when we are ahead.
Tyler, I'm not arguing any of that, right? I'm not arguing any of that. However, most quarterbacks, right? Where the hell does G keep? All right. Anyway, most quarterbacks are gonna freaking not most quarterbacks. Most coaches force a conservative game plan when your teams are ahead. That's generally how head coaches are taught to do it, right? Once you're ahead, you want to avoid turning the ball over. You want to be risk averse, and you want to try and protect your lead and get out of there with a win. That's how most coaches are taught, right? So it's that. But so now Tyler says easy to have decent stats when you're throwing to Chasing Higgins versus Snead and Boyle. I'm not arguing any of that. But what I'm saying is G is here arguing that apparently Lamar's less than stellar play in the postseason, which again is when it matters most, seems to be irrelevant. And I don't even know how this got to Lamar, because this was supposed to be about the Bengals and Joe Burrow. But as usual, G somehow manages to hijack the topic and take it to the Ravens. I don't know how
it got so far. It got so far. I don't even know what I was supposed to be responding to from the video that you sent me, bro. But
listen, I'm with you, Tyler, on the blowing the fourth quarter leads. I'm with you. Something is wrong there. I don't know if that's Harbaugh. I don't know if that's Zach Orr being the new coordinator. I'm not sure what it is.
I mean, if your
Zach
defense
Orr got nothing to do with it, let me ask you that.
Defense, right?
Does Zach Orr have nothing to do with it?
It's been happening since way before Zach Orr.
Okay. All right. So let's do this, because clearly this is not going to be this is not
Bengals
going to be
Burrow
the
conversation.
Burrow and Bengals topic. At the end of the day, I'll wrap it with this, and then y'all can go ahead and give y'all final comments on the topic. I'll wrap it with, obviously, if the Bengals lose this week, it's likely over, but they're weird in that they traditionally start slow but have this ability to go off on a run. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Transformer, your turn. What you got?
One, I never got a chance to say anything.
My bad, bro.
I'll let y'all live. I'll let you live with this Green Bay talk.
G went off on a tangent so strong that I'm literally just trying to think of what the conversation was about. But I believe it was about why is Joe Burrow not being talked about as much as, and I think that's when we got on the Lamar Jackson topic, right? And I was I go back and I look at the games, right, that he played in. I didn't see to where we can criticize Joe Burrow as much because Joe Burrow really, to me, except the first game, but the first game was like a coming back game. His first game since week 7 of last year or week 6 of last year when he went out with the hand injury or the wrist injury. So we kind of gave game 1 a pass. It was like, okay, they're trying to get him back into the rhythm of things, right? But then I go look at game 2, Kansas City, your bugaboo. I mean, you have 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You literally lost because Patrick Mahomes went to beat your defense, right? It wasn't like he got the ball back and he had the opportunity to go back and win that game. So in that case, it wasn't really I could point at Joe Burrow and be like, Joe Burrow is the reason why we lost this game. I mean, Kansas City turned the ball over, I think, 2 or 3 times that game, and you guys just couldn't capitalize like you wanted to. But again, you lost 26-25. It's not like you got cooked. You literally lost a nail biter, right? We go into the Washington game and you lose 38-33. What do I say about your expensive quarterbacks? If you're going to lose, you better lose in a shootout, right? At least show me that you went out there, played your best game. 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 127 passer rating. But look at the end of the game. Look how it went down. Joe Burrow made their last touchdown, and I believe it was about 8 to 9 minutes left on the game clock when Washington got the ball back. Joe never got the ball back. Literally, Washington just milked the entire clock, 6 to 7, 8 minutes off of the clock, and left Burrow with just nothing to work with, right? So I'm like, those type of games really don't give me enough, and it's only week 3, right? That didn't give me enough to be like, oh, I mean, we could put some onus on Joe Burrow. When, I mean, he's not turning the ball over. He's, methodically walking you guys downfield. He's scoring points on offense, except for week 1. I'm putting to the side. It's your comeback game, right? And they still going through the chase, not being at training camp and that blase, no T Higgins or whatever, right? But these last 2 games, Joe Burrow really didn't see the field when it was his turn at the end of the 4th quarter to lose those games. And I think if we could have saw Joe Burrow on the field lose them, then we could kind of put some more onus on Joe Burrow. But your defense got to do something at least. I mean, to lose 38-33, I really don't see much putting it on me. 26-25, when I played a very, very clean game. I'm not going to say very, very, but a clean game. We lost it on the defensive side of the ball. So, that's just my 2 cents of what I can remember from the video of what they were saying about Joe Burrow. But do I think they're in trouble? Yes, they're absolutely in trouble. Any team 0-3, you're in trouble. Every single game, because you got to win your next 3 games to be at least 500.
Yeah,
at least 500.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to make this to make the playoffs when you start.
You're in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. So good luck with you trying to finish the season somewhat above. Anything above 9 wins, good luck with that. So they're in trouble. They're in trouble for sure.
So I seen Joe Burrow at his best, right? And I'm just gonna give you guys a quick glimpse of what that was for me, right? Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati at home at the bank, and Joe Burrow come out. I'm in the 100 level seat, so I'm right down there on the field. And as I'm watching the game, they throwing cheerleaders in the air. Got those seats where they throw them in the air, and they do the split and they come back down. Joe Burrow destroyed us before the 3rd quarter was over. So the guy got the stuff, right? $50 million, he earned that. However, I just don't believe that team That was the same year he went to, the chip, and he lost. But, or was it the AFC? I can't remember. But however, they destroyed us before third quarter. He's fighting injuries. He's coming off an injury. The AFC North quarterbacks are different because we also play smash mouth football, right, where the running game could dominate for 3 quarters. I don't see that in their repertoire this year, just based off of a Derrick Henry being on the sideline. However, are they in trouble? Still week 3, right? When we
Week
going
4
into
now.
4, it's going to week 4. You're on 3. Have you lost any division games? That's the question, right?
That's
Like,
the problem. You haven't made it to the divisional games. Those aren't going to be easy.
You haven't, right? But some of these teams, you don't lose. First off, you don't lose to the Commanders. However, we starting to see a different Commanders where the quarterback is getting time to make plays, right? That's dangerous. You're still in one of the more popular conferences when you look at the NFC East and what they have. Like, at this point, the only thing we can say is like, we believe that the Eagles are going to be there, but we really don't know if the Eagles are going to be there, right? Like, all these teams are like winning games they shouldn't win, and it'll come down to like the quarterback play and the coaching play as well. I don't know. It's still a question mark for them. It's still a question mark with them and Burrow. He still can make all the plays. He's still, the AFC has been known to be, one of those hardest. You have to play hard to win in the AFC conference. Like, you have to play hard. If you don't, then your team won't make it out. And it's probably one of the hardest conferences to get out of. I believe, just from quarterback play. You have your Aaron Rodgers, you have your Josh Allen. Your Patrick Mahomes, who won multiple multiple Super Bowls. Lamar, I don't have to talk about Lamar. Tua, we still might see Tua. I don't think they shut Tua down yet. I think
they still got him on IR.
Easier.
He come back.
It's like the East, right? With the Boston Celtics. It's like the East. It's the easiest path. The East is the easiest path to the chip right now. Roles have reversed, and the AFC would be like the West, right? Like, it's hard as hell to get out of the West. It's a gauntlet. However, I believe that like the NFC has been easier, the easiest path to the Super Bowl for most teams, and we see it when we get our Super Bowl. Look at New York Super Bowls. It's like, oh my gosh, what was this? It's like a preseason game. But that's my 2 cents, bro. Like, I don't have much. It's Joe Burrow. He dyed his head blonde. I don't understand. And they changed their uniforms to all white. Like, I don't get it. Like, what the hell? Like, Ickey Woods was like almost the last most reputable player next to Joe Burrow. That's a running back and a quarterback, bro. Like,
not Carson Palmer, not Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, not Terrell Owens. Right, none of those guys, huh?
Who? Yeah. Who? I'm sorry, who?
Chad Ochocinco. TJ Houshmandzadeh? Zaga? Zaga said it right? Zada?
Good God.
Houshmandzadeh.
Mm-hmm. Chad Ochocinco?
Yes. Ochocinco.
Go ahead, look him up. You must have forgot who he was. But it's cool.
Many wide receivers in that class would say, you know what? And with AJ Green, Carson Palmer didn't do those Bengals right. Yeah. AJ Green, was a monster. And they never made it nowhere because of Carson Palmer.
Beat up Jalen Ramsey in the middle of the field, man. I'll never forget it.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, beat him up. Put him in the chokehold.
The only thing I'm saying is we talking about Joe Burrow right now. And Joe Burrow is like 10 times better than Carson Palmer.
All right, so the point is, the reason why I brought up those other players is because you said Ickey Woods is the last.
Ickey Woods, the Ickey Shuffle.
Okay, so Tyler says Joe has the 19th most wins among starting QBs in the NFL. True. He has 2 winning seasons, also true. he has ended his season on the IR 3 out of 5 years. No, 2 out of 4, right? So this is year 5. So he's been on the IR, ended his season on the IR 2 out of 4 seasons thus far. This is year 5. So we'll see if he gets through it healthy. Unlikely, but we'll see. He has an image. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about him. No, that's not the case. We talk about him because of what we've seen him do when he's healthy. That's how we evaluate sports.
Very true.
Thank you.
When
That's why we talk
he's
about
been,
him.
He's been in big moments. He's been in big
He's been that guy. Correct.
And he's taken his team further than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he has taken his team further than Lamar Jackson. That is a fact. That's correct.
Do you put him over Carson? Do you put him over Carson
Palmer?
Yeah, do you? You mentioned Carson Palmer. That's why I asked.
I explained to you why I mentioned Carson Palmer. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's open up the phone lines here because I got some.
It ain't computing right now, bro. Like you mentioned Carson Palmer, but then you up.
I mentioned Carson Palmer for a reason because you said the last notable Cincinnati Bengal was Ickey Woods, and I'm saying that's not the case
for me. That's
but Chad Ochocinco, AJ Green, Carson Palmer, those don't ring a bell, bro.
Pac-Man Jones.
Pac-Man Jones.
The toughness.
It's a lot.
Pac-Man Jones is as tough as they come. He's tougher than all them players we mentioned.
I don't know, bro.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines.
When you talk about the AFC, you think about Ed Reed. You know what I'm saying? They played in that era. You think of Joe Flacco. You think of we talking defense or we talking offense?
We just gonna talk about the Ravens.
Ravens. I mean, I'm just saying, like we just think about.
We talk about toughness.
We can talk about Steelers. We can
talk about
Steelers.
Person was Aaron Hernandez, bro. He can't name nobody tougher than that.
The Bengals ain't been shit in a long time, bro. And it's the first time we get to talk about them.
Which is exactly why we talk about Joe Burrow. How you missing how that works? That is why we talk about him.
I'm talking about Ickey Woods. Because Ickey Woods was the first time we really got to talk about the Bengals. You skipping ahead, putting.
So you talk about Ickey Woods over Boomer Esiason? How you do that?
AJ Green was way better than goddamn Ochocinco, bro. AJ Green was way better than man. Come on, dog.
Oh, Chad.
All right, but listen.
Footwork, Chad.
Yes. Chad was a big mouth. That's it.
Let's go ahead real quick and see if we get anybody want to go ahead and give us a call and let us know your thoughts on Joe Burrow and the Bengals, what you think about what's going to happen for the rest of the season with them, and
the bum ass Bengals.
Oh, let's see. Wow, man.
I know there's a few words of terminology that you just do not use in a conversation with G, and I'm learning them. I got them things written down, baby.
Man, come on, yo. AJ was a killer, yo. He was an AFC North killer. He was, man. I'm not saying that Chad wasn't, but we came in at the same time. He wasn't the only person that was killing, bro. Like, he wasn't that guy. Like, he wasn't that guy on the AFC. They did nothing with him. And that's to the Bengals.
For real.
The Bengals did nothing with him, bro. Yeah, I mean, y'all can post that shit. It's fine. I'm just saying, like,
the Monster Energy drinks tonight.
Listen, when Chad Ochocinco was in the league, man, he ain't really do too much except try to start his own ESPN.
What?
I mean, he got knocked out a few times, but yeah, he was him. But we saw certain players.
You just said he's him, so either he's him or he's not.
He was one of those guys. I'm gonna say he was one of those guys, but he didn't stand out.
He's not one of those guys. Chad was a
they still was losing though, dog. That's what I'm saying. They still was losing. Like they still.
When did we put the onus on the receiver? Was Randy Moss gonna be considered a loser his whole career until he got to the Patriots?
So check it.
Hold on. Y'all missing him, yo. And the only reason why y'all talking about Carson Palmer and or Joe Burrow, so Joe Burrow won the Super Bowl, but prior to that, they ain't did shit.
Yo, here's Tyler. Let's take this call.
They did nothing, yo.
Tyler, what's good, man?
Hey, gentlemen, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Man, what's up with G tonight?
I don't know, man. He's wilding. I don't know. He's bugging out.
Brings me back. What I meant when I said 3 out of 5 years he finished on the IR, he tore his MCL in the Super Bowl and pretty much got carried off.
Okay.
Didn't really finish and ended up with off-season knee surgery. But as far as the Bengals go, this is the Bengals we're talking about.
Right.
I know we finally get a chance to talk about them, but we don't really need to put any respect on their name. They haven't done anything. You know,
Say
they have
that
one
shit
good
louder
year.
for the Floridians.
I don't know when their franchise became, when they came to exist, but I know it's been 60 years maybe. They've had one good year. You know, they made it to the Super Bowl back when they had some good offensive linemen, defensive linemen in the trenches. If anybody who's ever been to Canton, you know, they've really ride that glory year.
Anthony Munoz.
Yep, Anthony Munoz.
Yeah, that was 1988. I remember that.
Yep. But again, they didn't win nothing.
Dating yourself.
And they're never going to win anything because they're the Bengals. Same thing with the Browns. The Browns are the Browns. They don't need to get any respect on their name. If anything, you know, Justin Fields over there in Pittsburgh, you know, a respectable franchise that, you know, we all can agree to hate, you know, with a little bit of love. You know, they've got something cooking. Burrow and the Bengals, they're cooked. Burrow is injury merchant. You know, he gets his money, gets a couple stats, goes on IR.
That's my biggest concern there is, can he stay healthy? So I'm with you.
Like
you know,
a dead road situation.
10-6. 1 year healthy, 10-6, and then he gets to the playoffs. He got to the AFC Championship. They probably should have won that game. But he goes back. They probably should have won that game in the AFC Championship, but they'd have got trashed in the Super Bowl that year. So I really was trying to save my call for Jaden Daniels. I'm ready for some people to really start hyping Jaden Daniels up. But you know, I had to just get it out. We can't be putting any respect on these Bengals names. We gotta stop.
Like I said, I try to keep it objective, and based on my argument is very simply, the reason we still talk about Joe Burrow and the Bengals is because we've seen what he can do when healthy. Now, there's a 50% chance he won't be healthy. I get that. But when he is, we've seen what he does. So it is what it is. But I appreciate the call. My bad.
I still think Ickey Woods is the most reputable Bengal player that played the game. I don't care what nobody say, bro. Like, they ain't win shit until they do the shuffle.
So
and the closest thing we got to the shuffle was whatever Chad Ochocinco was doing, all those antics he was doing.
I think they have one Hall of Famer, right?
Ickey had 1 year. One. But yeah, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think Cincy has one Hall of Famer, right? I think it's Anthony Munoz, and that's it. That's where their stories.
I would have to check. Yeah, I think
next slide.
Yeah,
I think it's one.
If y'all start fighting up Jaden Daniels, man,
he's coming.
I'm gonna have to call back in.
No doubt.
I think 300 looks like a phantom, so a phantom pulls up. We're gonna see that in a couple weeks when they play Lamar.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah,
we'll get there. We got that's the last topic. We'll get to it. I appreciate your call, Tyler. Thank you, brother.
I had nothing to do with these topics, by the way.
That's a damn lie.
You picked the Jaden Daniels topic.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
And you the Joe Burrow topic too.
No, it was the Tatum and the Diddy topics. It was Tatum, Diddy, and then the Olympics. That's why he got bitched.
I don't remember no Diddy topic.
Yeah, there was definitely no Diddy topic. But before we move on,
that's why he ain't play, yo. That's why he ain't play.
Before we move on, right? Chad Johnson, what? 1, 2,
oh, you did it too?
4, 5. You know I did. 6, 7,
I had the stats ready, Joe.
Yeah. Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, whatever you want to call him, played 11 years. AJ Green played 12 years. They're separated by 3 touchdowns. They are separated by What do we got? Actually, in
How
one
many
last
how many
season,
playoff appearances?
in one, nope. Don't
No,
even
no,
try. See, yo, you
no,
mad?
no, 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 no,
No.
How many
No,
playoff
we're not doing that.
appearances, bro?
Nope. You the same
That
dude.
was the
AJ
margin
Green
of
was way
error.
better. You way
Exactly.
better, but Chad did more work in less time. How you figure that? You can look it up. Matter of fact, I don't even have to read it
Was
to
a
you. You can look
year?
it up.
It was a
Chad
year.
did more work in less time.
I'm not
So,
arguing over
you
peanuts,
can,
bro.
you
I'm
know.
not gonna argue over
No,
peanuts.
you can't
bro.
argue. You can't argue
They
because you said that
bums, bro.
you
Like
just
the
told me
Bengals
AJ
ain't
Green.
been shit.
Hold on. Transformer. Did G not just sit here and tell us that AJ Green was way better than Chad Johnson? He said that, right?
Yep.
No,
Okay, just checking.
I did. I mean, I can
But the
do my
production
own
doesn't show that.
stats and make
The
AJ
production
look way
doesn't show
better
that.
than Chad. Yo, like I can do that.
The
How should you pull a
production
stat
doesn't
when the
show
stats
that.
is there? The stats
Is it?
already there, bro. The numbers are there.
I mean,
And it's not like they played in some two different eras or something. The production
Listen,
doesn't
man.
show it.
We trying to say that 2 5s are dimes, and that's not the case.
What?
They both mediocre players, bro, in the AFC North. That's why
So
we
now
don't hear about
now
it.
they both mediocre. Yo, you be
That's what
moving
I
the
said.
goalposts crazy, son. You gotta work on consistency, son. You hurting
We
yourself.
talking
You gotta
about the
figure out what he's
Bengals
talking
here,
You
about.
bro.
hurting
yo.
yourself, man.
We talking about the Bengals, and the first time the Bengals really ever been relevant, I told you about it, is when I went to a game and they beat us at third quarter. Like I don't understand what you missing here. Like I don't get it. Like the game was over at third quarter, yo, and I had the cheerleaders jumping in my face and everything. They was trash.
You're not. All right, so this is what we all right.
Yo.
So we took a call
Another
on
AJ.
this. Yo, this show has taken a turn, boy.
Boy, it did.
All right.
We're 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and we haven't
Right.
even made it to the third segment.
But